I'm MyRadar senior meteorologist Matthew Cappucci with a critical update on Melissa. Melissa is expected to rapidly intensify this weekend, likely into a Category 4 hurricane by early next week. Uncertainty abounds and confidence is rather low. There are still multiple scenarios on the table. That said, for the first time, the National Hurricane Center is now explicitly forecasting a Category 4 landfall next week in Jamaica. That's supported by the Google DeepMind artificial intelligence model, which basically shows virtually all scenarios leading to an impact on Jamaica. If that occurs, that would be a worst-case scenario for the island. That scenario would first entail Jamaica being northeast of the center for 2 or 3 days, meaning the storm would be whipping an incredible moist fetch ashore. That would lead to extreme rainfall totals of 20 to 35 inches, the highest in the mountains, leading to widespread devastating flooding and serious mudslides. Those spiral rain bands would also come ashore with embedded tornadoes and brief waterspouts. The National Hurricane Center is calling for Melissa to be moving very slow Monday and Tuesday, prolonging impacts. It's important to remember that the destructive winds, however, would be relegated towards the core, the eye wall, the innermost ring of winds. If that ring of winds comes ashore, we could be talking gusts of 100 to 120 miles per hour in the eye wall. That's also where the most serious storm surge would be. It's important to remember that for the strongest hurricanes, those winds are tightly coiled around the center. Some models do simulate that eye wall coming ashore, leading to very high-end wind and surge issues in Jamaica. Some models, however, simulate the chance it stays offshore, meaning the biggest impact would be freshwater flooding, rainfall, and mudslides. Either scenario could spell disaster, and realistically, how do you plan for something that is inherently uncertain? At this point, we say plan for the worst and hope for the best, even though it's unlikely Jamaica will escape without serious impacts. If you're in the red, it's time to act. Prepare now for very high-end impacts and the potential for several days of serious disruption. If you need to relocate, follow the advice of local officials. If you're in the orange, it's time to get ready to act, but you don't have to act quite yet. A hurricane watch and a tropical storm warning are in effect in both southwest Haiti, including Port-au-Prince, and the entire island of Jamaica. Confidence is also increasing in Melissa striking Cuba as a major Category 3+ hurricane towards the middle of next week. They'll likely see a serious impact. Now, on Friday afternoon, Melissa was beginning to strengthen. Winds of 60 miles per hour were found inside the storm. If we take a look at this plot, you can see those winds, the strongest winds from the hurricane hunters, were east of the center. That's what the yellows, the oranges mean. Now, we do believe Melissa is becoming more vertically stacked, vertically aligned, which essentially means here's a low-level circulation, a thunderstorm will likely form over it, or already has, lift air up and away from that low-level center, and as a result, you get kind of this void that sucks in stronger winds. Those winds pull in more moisture, more warm air, and that's how you get the storm to strengthen. The environment is primed. Upper-level winds are relaxing, meaning there won't really be anything to knock Melissa off kilter, favoring strengthening. It will be moving over water temperatures of 86 to 89 degrees in the northern Caribbean. That leads to incredible ocean heat content. The oceans are replete with fuel, and Melissa will tap into that. Furthermore, we'll have spreading of the air aloft, divergence. The more air that fans away at the top, the more we get rid of that exhaust, the more room there is to pull in warmth and moisture from below, leading to rapid intensification. This storm has a very high ceiling. And lastly, you may remember the American GFS model originally simulated Melissa would pass east. It was sort of an outlier model. That's no longer the case. The American GFS model is now explicitly simulating the likelihood of a serious major hurricane impact making landfall in Jamaica. There is always inherent uncertainty within advanced forecasts, but at this point, the off-ramps are sort of not really there as much as they were before. That means the likelihood of a serious strike is increasing. This will have shades of Gilbert back in 1988 and potentially be more significant. Please, we hope we're wrong, but in the event we're correct, you need to take precautionary actions. Stay tuned, stay safe, and stay with MyRadar. We're with you every step of the way.
Follow MyRadar on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Download MyRadar on iOS, Android, Amazon Alexa, and Windows.